Welcome to the Showcase Pod. We are live from the 1776 studio. Live in the studio, we have Dan Badonji. We have the missing Don Vega. We may have to call TSA to find out if he did make it to the checkpoint. There's rumor that Vega may be in Las Vegas. He may be in Rhode Island, or he may be missing. So, Danny.
I'm not missing at all, Chris Blackheart.
Are you live from TSA, or are you at the checkpoint?
No, I'm checking point of the idiot probably in Woonsocket or Taunton that got me sick.
So you have the sniffles.
Have more than the sniffles.
Uh-oh.
Danny Badandi, do you see me on the video?
No.
Here we go. All right.
Well, we can hear you.
are.
All right, here we go.
Live.
All right.
What,
Chris Blackheart, you did your tremendous opening this week.
I did, you know. I was trying to give you props. I didn't know if you were going to Las Vegas, got stopped at TSA, or you were stuck in Providence. But the fact that you can't get sick on the greatest holiday weekend.
Well, you can get sick when there's freaking disgusting people roaming around with germs. Like I said before, apparently the people that were listening a couple weeks back didn't get the memo.
Well, hopefully you don't get what I got back in February. That was literally a month worth of sickness. Hopefully it's just allergies or a quick 48-hour flu, because...
Yeah, I've been taking medication strongly, so I'm hoping to kick it out by tomorrow.
Probably the best advice on that, if this is like day 3 or 4 for you, you're not feeling great, go the walk-in, get the good stuff, get the moxicillin, and that'll kill everything.
Yeah.
I wait till the very end, being sick for almost a month.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow's project if what I'm taking is not. I mean, I feel a little bit better than what I did earlier. So, it could be working. If not, I'll take your advice in the morning. With that being said, bring me up to speed here.
No, you had perfect time, and I was just trying to bury you by not being in the studio. Then you popped up, but, we coming off a great event in Taunton. We thought we were going to get more explanations regarding what you did on March anniversary and why. But I think the only thing it does, it kind of brings us more questions.
But what did I do? I just don't understand.
What do you mean, in Taunton or just in general?
Did I do anything wrong? Do I owe any explanation to you or all the fans?
I think some people wanted, like the Alex thing. I don't think you need an explanation for. Even though I'm not 100% like what you did with Alex, I understand it. Right, that I get. I think the whole Rambo.
It's not hard to understand.
Yeah.
You bring a guy into a company. I literally brought him into SPW. Baby step all the way. Became a tag team. We won the tag team championships. I literally defended those belts by myself because he was nursing his boo-boos.
True.
I was forced to turn those titles in once again by myself because I wanted champions that could defend the belts. Me being unselfish.
True.
Again. And then all of a sudden, the biggest show in the company, this rat, this scumbag, this piece of crap, because there's no other word to describe him, decides to come back and screws me over out of my Triple Crown championship. Any more explanation to that?
No, I thought that was perfectly fine. I think the biggest question is, you really haven't answered it, and maybe when we go over the card from Taunton, what is the deal with you and Rambo and Mr. Starr? That's the thing that really hasn't been, again, I would like to know for myself. So if you want to cut the mic,
it's good.
Dim the camera a little bit.
It's good that you want to know, Chris Blackheart. But like I told, Sarge before, in due time, everyone will know, because sometimes good things are worth to wait for. So, yeah. It's just a matter of time before you know.
All right, let's go over the card. let's go over the card that was happened this past Friday night in Taunton. We opened up. We thought we were going to get some information, but you were out there, and Alex, was he late for the event? Is that what happened?
This guy.
I think that's really what it was. Alex was late for the event, interrupted your private mic time that we gave you. I mean, we literally put it on the card that Don Vega, question time.
Again, this guy just coming out of the street, decides to attack me, decides to sucker punch me. Because you and I both know he wouldn't do that face to face.
No.
He sucker punched me. And, he's upset at what? I don't know. But, that was the beginning of the night. He started off with Alex the Rat Raiden sucker punching me.
Not very nice. I mean, that was almost a theme through the night that Alex kept interfering a couple of times when you were out there.
It's crazy that Sarge and Cena, they allow certain people to do certain things, but we'll talk about that as we progress.
Right, going into match number 1, we had one half the consistent ones, young Matthew versus Rocky. Now, I thought this was a perfect opportunity for Matt Michelson to shine, to show that he is just not one half of a tag team, but he's one half of a really good machine, being out there. Matt's young in the business, doing really well for himself. But it was the youngins. I don't understand.
It was again some sketchy.
No, it wasn't sketchy. I mean, Rocky is
not
half
what
of
I
a tag team of unfortunately, 21 or 17 Jump Street. But the idea is, why didn't the referee get rid of young D-Rex so they could have a one-on-one?
Those are right words.
All right, let me write that down. I'm going to question Sarge. Sarge, question.
No, not that. Getting rid of the youngins. I know the right guy for that job.
Well, I mean, I think the consistent ones, they've had a lot of problems with a couple of people. Higher education, 17 Jump Street. So, I mean, we'll get into them at the end, but, I mean, they had a lot of problems with a lot of people. So, and you have a lot of problems right now with Alex Raiden, so.
Yeah, he's not going to be a problem for very long because Blackheart.
All right, well, let's go into other problems. We have Sean Candido, Danny Cabral, the new Showcase Person Tag Team Champions coming off my anniversary versus Roger Williams and Jay Evans with Annabelle. Tag team action. Kind of an odd tag team, to say the least. We usually see Roger Williams carrying Annabelle, assisting Jay Evans, or assisting.
He loves carrying that doll around.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Wonder why.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But, I mean, last time we saw Evans, Williams, and Annabelle, Roger Williams, or RW, just cleaned the clock of Evans with that clothesline. And, Danny, you're smiling a little bit over there because you got something that you retained.
Yeah, we'll get into that because Danny wasn't with us last week. We'll get into his title reign here that just happened a couple weeks ago. But, nonetheless, tag team championships were on the line, and Candido and Daniel Cabral were successful retaining those titles. Danny Cabral, if we go back to March anniversary, I would watch my back with Candido.
I mean, we've known Candido over the years, and the good and the bad, and
didn't you see him push him over the top rope?
Say that again?
Didn't you see him push Danny Cabral over the top rope?
Well, I'm not sure, but you can watch the replay on our YouTube at SP Wrestling, which you're watching live right now. We have March anniversary up there, so Those who
You
watched
can
it recently.
you can watch that, but are you saying you don't believe my words?
No. If that was the case, I mean, why wouldn't Danny not question? Well, put the other hand, right? That was every man for themselves, but they are a tag team. So I would, unless did they make an agreement beforehand? I know when we've been in battle royal situations before, we've, kind of said every man for yourself.
Not trying to stir the pot. Like I said, I'm just saying. So, moving on to the third match of that evening. Who was our third match, Chris Blackheart?
That was the first title defense for the new YouTube champion Dan Badandi versus the youngin Logan Macchia. Now, Danny, I'll tell the good news of this match. All right, the good news is you won. Still champion, good title defense. You got a big win. My question is, this guy is about a fourth of your size, right? Fourth of your strength. You gave him 2 or 3 overhead suplexes. You gave him a couple of huge slams. Took you like 6 minutes to beat him. I don't understand, Danny.
Just wanted to play around a little bit.
All right, because I thought I didn't think you could beat him. I thought he was taking on those punishments so you would run out of steam and he would get the win.
That's what his strategy was.
All right, well.
And I caught him and I took care of him. That was quick.
So, Danny, you finally took up on your promise to bring a belt to the studio.
He did.
It's the belt
I didn't bring the belt today, but because I was worried about referees being around and somebody coming out of nowhere, I went to 24/7 rule, and so.
Well, you don't have to worry about that rule no more. That rule, fortunately, got taken away a while back when Chris Blackheart had something.
I did. I took that away because it was crazy. No matter where you looked, people were getting hit by stuff. It was crazy.
So I'll bring the belt in next week. But yeah, there's a picture of me right there, and still champion. And what an honor it is, though, because it's my first. I want to put 1 second. I want to take a second here. So it took me 3 years to win a championship at Showcase Pro Wrestling, but it shows you, right, that the competition in Showcase Pro Wrestling is very fierce. And again, it took me 3 years. I tried to go the tag team route. We know what happened with that. So I started going single, and now I'm a YouTube World Champion. And, it's just the beginning. That's it. But it takes a long time in Showcase Pro Wrestling because the competition is fast. You pay your dues and just show up and do what you can. And when you get your opportunity, you take advantage of it. And that's what I did a couple weeks ago, early in April. And I retained it last week. And I'm excited for the next show.
Yeah. So, a lot of people that have held the title in the past, the YouTube World Championship is a social media title, and it's probably one of the biggest titles in the company because, the platform of YouTube, it's global, it's worldwide. So, if you get out there and you promote yourself and you promote the title, you could get the most eyes on yourself. So, I expect that, Danny's got a background. He's got different shows. He's on YouTube all the time. So, quite fitting for the individual.
Yep, the champion of YouTube. So, YouTube, don't hit me.
Just let you know, Danny, I got questioned that people like, how could you put Dan Badandi into a match where he could possibly win? Because they said that we should bring back censorship with you. Can you believe that? They go, you don't know what Danny's going to say. He's off the hinge some days. He says what he wants. And they're like, we may have to censor him. I'm like,
Well, maybe we should have a segment on the shows with the YouTube World Champion where he gets to speak his mind.
Maybe we can do, what did Danny say? That could be it. So for all... So, dude, we got a lot of messages of that. They're like, "Oh man, you got to watch him. He's really unhinged. He's gonna talk about, bring out a dollar bill and tell you there's conspiracy there. He's gonna, especially he goes, wait until you hear about what Danny's gonna talk about on his show this Friday night regarding Easter and Christ. It's gonna go." And I'm like, he won the title. We can't censor somebody.
This is literally a new segment in the making.
Yeah.
It might be controversial, man, but I tell the truth and I tell it with passion, So, but in the wrestling business, wrestling's business, and that's what I do is I go in the ring. Regardless if I'm a conspiracy theorist or not, I get in that ring and I take care of business, and I do it to the best of my ability.
All right, the next match we had the young, astonishing one, Aiden, versus Big Matt Thompson.
Big Matt Thompson. Another one is running around rampant.
Not very happy. I mean, Matt was kind of focused when you think about it. He went over the top rope. Had a decent, I was surprised because Matt was mad to say the least. I know out back he was not very well. He's not a talkative guy anyway, but he was just pissed. And I think he was kind of playing around with the young Aiden kid, to be honest with you, especially at the beginning. He's doing some wrestling. He's doing some MMA grappling with him. Eventually he did get the win, but the young Aiden, man, great showing, but I don't think it's the right time for him. Never mind. I don't know who set this one up, but did you see what happened afterwards?
I mean, I saw most of it. I seen the kid Aiden. I've seen him come up here lately in a showcase with the right guidance. That kid has some potential in him. But besides that, Thompson, bullying this kid around, taking advantage. It's funny how he gets it done when you could take guys that are less experienced than you, but when you mess around with guys like Rambo or myself, he always comes out short. Ain't that ironic?
Well,
but yeah,
I want to go that far. But did you see the guy that came in after, the jester with the horn?
Yeah, I seen that.
Did you have anything to do with that? Because he looks like he just wanted to taunt Thompson. To be honest with you.
Why would I have anything to do with making fun of the biggest clown that we have in Showcase Pro Wrestling? Why would we have anything to do with that? I mean,
well, no, I could see you whispering.
Why would we slip anybody $40? This.
No, but I could see you stirring the pot on that one.
Why would we do that? Why would we slip a little bit of money to some guy without a clue in the world to go in the ring and taunt the biggest clown in Showcase, Matt Thompson? I mean, I have no idea.
That sounds like a confession, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm speaking third person here. I'm like, what if?
What if, all right?
It seems like the new in Showcase is blaming Brian Starr, blaming Rambo Godfrey.
Well, we can't blame Brian Starr because Brian Starr wasn't even there.
I mean, exactly.
So,
to my point.
All right, so speaking of, we're supposed to have a scheduled match at night. All right, a grudge match, no DQ, yourself and Alex Raiden. Hello, tell us the story. What happened?
You saw what happened.
I know, that's why I'm asking. Locker room clearing. Again, second time that night.
You saw what happened. I was literally beating the crap out of Alex Raiden. And then he decided to go and break property at the BFW hall. And he stumbled upon Rambo.
Oh, that was one of it. I knew Rambo was involved, but I didn't say he stumbled.
He stumbled upon Rambo. We're not going to take that type of stuff anymore. So we decided we were going to teach him a lesson. And here comes the Ringling Brothers himself, Big Clown Thompson, coming in and trying to save the rat. Are you kidding me? You tell me what's going on.
Well, no, I mean, it was... I don't know who was left in the locker room, but... I mean, that was it. I mean, I think the only good part about that is going back on May 9th, tag team match, yourself and Rambo, Alex and Thompson. I kind of like that.
How many times does Matt Thompson gonna get beat by Rambo Godfrey?
What? We may have to make a little chalkboard back here and just keep the numbers going up.
How many times am I gonna have to beat up Alex Raiden?
Well, I think you enjoy beating up Alex.
Well, that's besides the point.
Yeah, and again, I can't feel sorry for Alex for what he gets because knowing the story, he kind of did. I know the fans like Alex and they were cheering for him and they didn't say some nice things about you, but I feel you have a great case that anyone should hear about betrayal and friendship.
I mean, fans are like they're like a dime a dozen. You kick them around, You get another pair. You kick them around. You get another pair. You see the reaction in Woonsocket when I went out there. The disrespect of those people.
Well, yeah, I mean that was 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't. Well, your promo was not very flattering, and
after everything I've done for those questionable people in Woonsocket, the nerves to boo me.
You know, and every time you cut a promo of not being so nice to people, some people said you were threatening talent. You know, my phone blows up. Texts, calls, emails.
I'm just stating the facts.
All right. Well,
and speaking of stating facts, you did mention that the next time we're in Taunton, Massachusetts at the BFW is May 9th, and Sergeant Muldoon, that happened to be on hand that night, he was feeling froggy to make that match between Rambo Godfrey and myself and the two crybaby losers, Alex Rated and Big Matt Thompson.
yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty good match. You know, we gave Sarge, you know, some power. You know, if you see someone's put together, let's not dwell on it.
He's got a little bit of a power trip. And like I told him in Woonsocket, I do not appreciate whatever little bullshit commission him and John Cena Sr. has.
Well, no, it's normally three of us, but lately those two have been tipping stuff in I don't say their favor, but their viewpoints.
Where's Blackheart? You know, like I told Sarge, somebody's blood is going to be in his hands.
Well,
and he better watch his back.
All right, we may have to do a disclosure on your promos lately that the views expressed by the guests coming up right now as the views of the guests only, not the management, promotion, the sponsorship, or anyone else in attendance. We may have to do that disclosure. Danny, can you think you can put that up? We can do a disclosure?
Yeah, a little.
I mean, I'm not.
I mean, on the podcast is all open, but I think at the shows, I think we have to write something out. So if it's Frank the announcer or Sergeant Muldoon, I think we have to do that little disclosure there.
Viewer
If
discretion.
he wants to take it as a threat, he could go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to make it easier for myself so I don't get, 4 pages of text messages regarding, did you fill in the blank?
I mean, I guess we're running around amongst a lot of whiners nowadays, huh?
Well, speaking of whiners, we do go in the main event. It was a captain's match. We had 2 of your favorite people now, apparently, the consistent ones, AZ with Matt Michelson in the corner versus Christopher Spratt. One half of the Higher Learning versus the Damien. Both of the Damien and Michelson with a handcuffed at ringside. I thought that was a great stipulation, to be honest with you. So
I thought it was a little bit overbearing to have Michelson tied up. He wasn't going to interfere. I could understand tying up Damien because he's always high and careless.
Well, no, and he does wander a lot. So, but I thought the good part about that, if you wanted to use your tag team partner in any manner, you knew where they were. And if you were concerned where somebody was on the opposite side, you knew exactly where they were. So I think the idea was great. But we don't have good luck in taunting with handcuffs, to say the least. Can you see what happened at the end?
Yeah, I believe somebody got a new trim in their beer.
No, not a trim. Damien got locked up with the second pair of handcuffs, and then your friend AZ was just teeing off on the poor young kid, man.
I mean, he tried giving him a fade in his beer. To be honest, that's the best he's ever looked.
Well,
I mean, you saw him before. He looked like a Timu Jesus Christ. I mean, we're in the season, but come on.
Well, if he's not doing anything Sunday, maybe he can hang around some churches or he can roll some rocks somewhere.
I mean, that's the best this guy's ever looked. He should be thanking AZ, as far as I'm concerned.
Fans weren't happy with that in true fashion. consistent ones. Now they have 2 tag teams going after them. 17 Jump Street and Higher Education. So, and Sprat, man. Sprat is on a roll, man. Yeah.
He's nuts now. He's thinking he's some rattlesnake, beer drinking.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what the hell he thinks he is. And you're in there celebrating.
What? No. I was we already had what happened in Woonsocket. I was checking the beverage to make sure that it was okay. But you did notice in Taunton, none of that happened, right?
What, you guys were drinking it earlier on in
No.
the night? No. Saving it for later, huh? Because Blackheart. I know how you are with beverages.
Nope. No beverages that night. All right. With that being said, Danny, we come back. A couple events coming up. Want to bring up the events for Showcase Wrestling coming up and going in May. And then we'll go into the WrestleMania celebration coming up this weekend.
Yep, Saturday, May 3rd, back at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, 126 Main Street, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Bell time is 7:07 p.m. So that's our home place there, and we've been packing that place for a while now, huh?
It is.
So, Crow.
Shouldn't have Showcase Saturday night, May 3rd in Woonsocket, and we're gonna have some answers, Chris Blackheart. That's a lot of things, like you said, happened in Woonsocket the last time we was there. We're gonna have some answers to those questions, and I believe Danny Badandi will be defending the YouTube World Title that night as well.
And it will be herbal tea free, no herbal tea anywhere, because that place was a mess at the last time.
Can't guarantee it.
Then Friday, May 9th, 2025, we're back at the Taunton VFW, 82 Ingle Street in Taunton, Massachusetts. Bell time 7:47, and I'll be there as well.
And we do have the main event that we told earlier. We'll have Don Vega, Rambo versus your favorite opponent now, Matt Thompson. And your unfavorite tag team partner, Alex Raiden. After that, the week later, we go to Franklin. Franklin is a 7:07 bell time. 10 streams on Pond Street at the Franklin Elks. That is for the Special Olympics. That link will be live this weekend to get the tickets. Franklin, another venue.
We'll have some matches announced in the following week for that event in Franklin, which is usually a sellout show as well.
It is. This will be the 5th time going.
So, we'll have information on that in the upcoming weeks here in the pod.
And don't forget also, we do fundraisers, birthday parties, and the training is like second to none. So Ken Doan, the trainer, and so go to showcaseprowrestling.com and I think that's awesome. I say this all the time. A birthday party at a wrestling school, and you get to actually get in the ring. That's awesome. I
is.
imagine that when we were kids, we would have been in heaven with that.
We did. Typically, we do those on weekends, and they've been booking up almost every weekend. We have one, which is awesome. This weekend we don't because of the national holiday and that religious holiday we have on Sunday. But with that being said, going to WrestleMania, one of our friends over at the Moonshine Alley, Jeff Shabo, on Sunday, which is night 2 of WrestleMania, they'll be showing WrestleMania. So they're having a WrestleMania party there as a viewing party. So if you're not doing anything, just look up Moonshine Alley in Providence. There's a great food down there. And our friend Jeff is hosting a party down there.
Chris Blackheart, does this mean now, since I won't be live, living color in Vegas, does this mean that maybe Chris Blackheart and Don Vega will be making an appearance there on Sunday? Or?
It's 50-50. It is Easter, and we'll have to find out.
Well, I hate to put the pressure on, what's her name, but it's WrestleMania Sunday.
It is. So with that being said, please send all the shout outs to my wife on social media. She absolutely loves to be reminded, especially when WrestleMania is a national holiday now for 2 days. What national holiday is for 2 days? No one has that anymore, right? So shout out to her. She loves being tagged in posts. I love every year. Chris Matrix always gets Kathy on that because for some reason that's like the first post that she sees and that drives her bananas. Drives her banana.
Well, before we move on, Catherine, would you rather stay at home with Chris Blackheart bundled up for over 4 hours watching wrestling, or would you rather pawn them off on me? You take your pick.
That is a pretty good way to describe it.
I mean, the win-win, Chris Blackheart.
It is. It is.
So,
good food, good beer, good wrestling. With that being said, why don't we bring up WrestleMania the card?
It's a full rundown.
Danny Badandi, I can't see anything there, so you gotta let me know what's up on the screen so we could have a conversation about it.
Well, we got a video package that has 3 minutes. It's a whole rundown of the WrestleMania. Then we can get into the matches if you want.
All right.
Yeah, we don't have to do the video package. We just have to get to the matches. And obviously, night one, we all know the main event is a triple threat matchup between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. And I mean, the big question is, what is the favor that CM Punk is owed by Paul Heyman?
That's a tough
What
one.
is the big favor?
I don't know. I mean, I think that brings up Heyman will be involved some way in the finish. For what way?
I mean, that could potentially bring a lot of individuals to be involved in that finish. But what can it be? What would be the favor? I mean, I see, in my opinion, I see Heyman saying goodbyes to Reigns and aligning himself with CM Punk.
See, now, I was listening to Something to Wrestle With, and they were going over a WrestleMania weekend with Bradshaw was telling stories, and they had a very similar conversation. And they said, what happened if Heyman went to Rollins?
That could be a swerve. That could be a good one.
Talking about something different. I mean, Heyman's been with everybody but him.
Yeah, I mean that could be quite interesting. I mean, speaking of, how about this? How about aligning, Steph with Paul Heyman? Then there's a group that was hot that is kind of like in the limbo right now. And when I say group, I mean Solo Sikoa and Fatu. I mean, what happens if they get those other two guys together and they form like a new stable, like a new Shield, like a new group led by Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman.
And it was not funny how I kind of forgot that because 2/3 of the Shield's there.
Yeah,
it could be a reformation.
So there's a lot of things that are on the horizon that I think they're playing conservative, which is good. It keeps the element of surprise fresh. So I'm actually looking forward to see what happens this weekend. You got some of the other matches for night one,
Yep.
Daniel?
We got Rey Mysterio Jr. versus El Grande.
El Grande Americano.
Talking about a newcomer getting lucky. I mean, that is pretty impressive. The guy's barely been wrestling the States for like 90 days, and he's already at WrestleMania.
Not Shaq Gable, the big American.
I know that. I mean, that's huge. Talking about talent, man.
I mean, talk about a guy that learned English in 2 days.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing. But even though he's been amazing, even though he's picked up quite well. I think Ray could potentially be one of his last WrestleManias, and I think I'm gonna go with Ray on this one.
Oh, we're gonna mark these down.
Yeah, we can mark him down already.
Danny,
last podcast before this is the WrestleMania special, Chris Blackheart.
All right, well, okay, so I'm gonna go with Grande.
I'm going Rey Mysterio.
I'm going with the rookie sensation.
And if we rewind it back to the main event, I'm going to go with CM Punk.
So, same Punk, and what do you got to go with?
I'll go with Rollins.
Daniel got Punk.
Yep.
All right. So Punk in the main event, night 1, WrestleMania. Danny Badandi, myself. Blackheart has Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Blackheart has Grande Americano. What do you got, Danny?
I got Ray.
He's got Rey Mysterio, and I have Rey Mysterio as well. What's the next matchup we got?
We got the World Heavyweight title, Gunther versus Jey Uso.
That's one of the other big main events. I said it.
Tough one.
I said it a couple of weeks back. I did not care about this match until 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, when Gunther did the bloodbath. I think it gave that realism and interest that was lacking. And then I kind of felt his promo the following week. So, I'm gonna go with Gunther because I believe that he's got a long ways to go as a champion. He's the right guy. If I was booking the show, he'd be the champion. But I don't know. I think they might cater to the crybabies, Chris Blackheart.
Well, didn't Gunther lose last year to Sami Zayn? Was that the match for WrestleMania? Or was that SummerSlam?
Yes.
All
Yes, that was WrestleMania.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to lose 2 in a row. I mean, he's a beast.
I mean, you just never know, Chris Blackheart. I mean, the guy does sell merchandise. The guy does sell tickets. I mean, I personally don't think that he needs a belt to keep doing what he's doing. But I'm going with Gunther. But my gut feeling is saying
I'll
that
go
they're
Gunther
gonna.
on that one too.
My gut feeling saying that they're gonna go cater to the crybabies in the internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gunther, but it's a hard, because I think they're gonna do the same thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Gunther too.
All right, what else we got?
And we got the triple threat match to decide the women's world champion. That is, hang on a second, put this up here.
That's Io
Rhea
Sky,
Ripley, yep.
Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Rhea on this one.
Yeah.
All right, what's our other 2 options?
It's Io Sky and Bianca Belair.
I'll go with the Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, my gut's telling me that that Bianca is gonna retain the title, but I'm gonna go with Rhea even if I take the dub, the L.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rhea too because Bianca Belair, she's won the championship the last 2 WrestleManias, so I can't see her winning it again. So.
The element of surprise, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on.
The women's world championship, WWE championship, I should say. Charlotte Flair against the champion Tiffany Stratton. I'm sorry.
Charlotte Flair taking on the younger version of herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Athletic, outgoing, peppy, charismatic. That's Charlotte 10 years ago.
Yeah.
17, it's a lot different than what her dad did back in the days that we loved Chris Blackheart.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany upsets Charlotte. I think she doesn't do the 17 title run yet. And I'm going with Tiffany.
So a tough one.
I'll
go with Flair.
Tiffany. Yep, I'm not changing. I'm going with Tiffany.
I'll go with Flair this one.
Who you going with?
I'll go with Flair.
Same, yeah.
Blackheart's just a Flair guy.
Woo.
He just can't go against the
But
grain.
the good part about that match, Charlotte kind of reminds me of her dad, as in she doesn't mind to get booed. right? She
Well,
knows
yeah,
her
she-
place. She knows
embraces it.
she's good, and some days people
Yeah.
just can't handle it.
Yeah, it is. She definitely embraces it.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. She's gonna slow her down, which needs to happen, and that's gonna make the recipe for a great match. And I just think that right now, at the time they're at, the way that they try to build new stars, I think Tiffany needs this win. It will solidify her into that real next spot. So, yeah, and plus, with Cena, going to the next night, and I've been picking Cena since the get-go. I said it way back when I said Cena was going to come back and challenge for the belt. We didn't know he was going to turn heel. But, yeah, I think that if she does it beforehand, the night before, it kind of takes away from Cena and Cody.
That's a good observation.
So, what do we got next? We got another match?
Well, yeah, Cena and Rhodes.
Well, we're still on night one, Danny.
Oh, then random order.
So we're moving on to night two?
Yeah. It's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
they're
go.
all random order on the website. So.
Night two, the main event, obviously, Cody Rhodes defending the championship, the WWE Championship, against John Cena in his last WrestleMania appearance. Like I said, I got Cena. I think he becomes a 17-time world champion.
Yeah, I got Cena on that one too.
Yeah, Cena. Yeah.
Spoiler, who you got? You got Cena?
Yeah, and I see them building this up to like a SummerSlam for a rematch. Yeah, something like that.
Well, spoiler alert, I do think that The Rock gets involved.
Yeah.
And if for some reason Cody was to retain that title, there could be another guy that likes to spread around beer and act like a fool getting involved on Sunday night.
That can make sense.
You know what I'm saying, Chris Blackheart? You got that?
Yeah, no, I mean, is Austin's hometown. That's
Jack,
where he resides now.
I saw a picture from earlier today. Steve Perkins from Big Time Wrestling. He's up in Vegas. I seen him and a few of the other guys posted a picture with Austin, and he looks phenomenal. He looks
good.
to be in great shape. So, I think there's going to be an involvement in that match.
Then you got AJ Styles against Logan Paul.
I like AJ.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great match. But again, it's one of those deals. It's kind of like Tiffany. I think that, they're building the newer stars. They need that new blood. And I think for that to happen, Logan Paul needs to get the W to solidify himself. And I think that he is going to get the W. I'm going to go with Logan Paul.
Yeah, same here.
I'm going to go with AJ. I caught an interview the other day with AJ. Looks like he's about, 48 right now? So it looks like he wants to end it before he's 50. So
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think he has a small window, but he looks great. I mean, he literally looks phenomenal.
Yeah, he looks the same. I mean, he looks the same way he did 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, he's bigger, so it's...
As far as, his appearance, his appearance, face, and all that, he looks the same as he looked 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Jacked up version of 10 years ago. Even though, like I said, it's going to be a great match, we all know that AJ is the general, There's nothing that Logan Paul is going to do in the ring that AJ can't do better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's just a passing of the torch.
Then we got the Intercontinental title, the champion Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio in the four-way.
Oh,
I'll let you go, Blackheart. Who you got in that four-way match?
I'm going to surprise you this one. I'm going with Penta.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm going to surprise you on that one.
Well,
in the true heel fashion, I think Dominic would be awesome to take it, but I think Penta has good momentum.
Danny, who you got?
It's hard to tell. I think I'm probably gonna go with Penta too, man, because like he's upcoming, you know, what I mean, building up.
So, I am gonna go with Penta. You know, I am gonna go with Penta. He's a guy that's been around for a long time, and you can tell he enjoys every single moment of this opportunity that he's getting. And for that fact, I'm going with Penta. But if I was booking this match, Dominic was screwed over Penta, and a feud would be born, and Penta would chase Dominic for that championship.
I like it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Then you got the United.
I see Braun Breaker, not to take anything away from Braun Breaker, because he's stepping up too. He's that dude, a beast. I just think he's climbing up to that world championship, heavyweight championship spot. So.
Then you got the United States champion LA Knight defending against Jacob Fatu.
Oh, that's an easy one for me. I think Fatu beats him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And becomes. I'm just being biased. I like Fatu.
Yeah, no, I like Jacob.
Yeah, I just think he beats him, and I mean the guy. You look at all of the Samoans that they're pushing in the WWE, and they're all related, they're all family and stuff like that. But that dude is, he's in a league of his own. You know, he reminds me of the time when Yoko was just fucking running rampant. You know what I mean? He was that guy.
Yeah.
So I think Jacob is literally the new Yoko in a sense, as far as getting to that main event spot and becoming a world champion at one point.
Yeah, me too. Then you got Rey Mysterio. Well, we already covered that. Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Who?
Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
What was that again? Who? Do I have to choose a winner on this match? Or?
Yeah, it sounds bad. I kind of felt the same way.
I'm going to say Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I mean, for her sake, I think she needs a win out of this to show. To me, she almost has like Lex Luger.
I mean, she looks incredible. I mean, like
no, but she reminds me of Lex Luger.
Good to look at. I mean, but
she's been being booked for potential, but when's she going to live up to it?
Yeah, she's good to look at. She's a mom. You know, she's a mom. Takes care of kids and shit, and you know. To be in the shape that she's in, I mean, that's...
Oh, no, she looks phenomenal, but I think in the wrestling world, she's fallen short. So I think she needs a good, decisive win to show people that she's just not, a fluke.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Jade Cargill. I think she'll get the W. She needs it. I think she'll get it.
And is it true that Vince is bringing back the World Bodybuilding Federation, the women's division, and she's going to be the first signed to it, or...
I heard Vince is gonna be the inaugural belt. He's gonna hand the ID belt to the winner of the tournament, Wrestlemania weekend. Imagine Vince McMahon showing up at JCW.
Yeah.
Then you got the Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre.
I forgot about that match.
Yeah, two brutes going at it.
I mean, what can we say? It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a good match. It's unfortunate that, they're in that spot of the match that you could potentially forget that it was on the WrestleMania lineup, along with the Jade Cargill and Naomi match. I mean, unfortunate for those guys. I like both those guys.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to go with Priest.
I'll go with McIntyre.
The curse of WrestleMania continues on with Drew McIntyre. I'm going to go with Damian Priest.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Damian too because Drew's been on downfall in these pay-per-views.
Yeah. Is that complete night 2 of WrestleMania?
I don't know what night it is. They just got them randomly listed.
Oh, we got one match. Hold on, I don't know if it was on Saturday night or Sunday. We got Randy Orton returning to action versus a mystery opponent, Chris Blackheart. That's right. Speechless, huh?
No, I mean, I know a couple of names were thrown out. One, again, going back to something to wrestle with, there's 3 names that you keep hearing. Well, 2 names you were hearing, and then I heard the third one. I'm like, "Ooh, that could be interesting."
I mean, they just signed Jeff Cobb, another guy that reminds me of. Well, Jeff was making his rounds before Bronson Reed touched up on the States, and I thought he would be signed a long, long time ago, but he wasn't. So he's finally coming in. Jeff Cobb.
I think Cobb though has an event in Japan on Saturday. So I'm thinking he's more maybe a Monday guy for the.
Or possibly, you know, he was a staple in Lucha Underground. Underneath the hood, he was that mask gimmick. I forget the name of it, but that was Jeff. Yeah, and he reminds me. Imagine him and Bronson Reed as a tag team.
Yeah, no, that's huge. So I mean, two names that were floating around was Rusev.
Yep.
Alistair Black, and what about SmackDown GM? What's your thought on that?
I mean, I think the whole Nick Aldis is gonna be swerved. I think they're setting it up. People are thinking that Nick's gonna fucking get the opportunity to wrestle, and I think that's when he introduces his pick. The pick on Randy.
Yeah, either way is good.
I'm going with the fellow UK guy, Alistair Black, as the GM's pick for Randy Orton.
I'll go with that too. I kind of like that one.
I'm gonna go hole in the wall. I'm gonna go with Rusev.
I mean, Alistair and him have history back from the UK. You know, they've wrestled each other. They got some ties, so it makes sense.
Then you got the World Tag Team titles. The War Raiders, Todd there. War Raiders against the New Day.
That's a tough one, man. That's the battle of Killer Kowalski, Mike Hollow guys, huh, Chris Blackheart?
Yeah, no, that's New England ties right there between Kofi and Kofi
I like
and Todd.
those guys, so it's a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going with Todd.
Yeah, let's go. The Douglas brothers.
Yeah, I'm going with Todd. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I think the War Raiders. I mean, New Day could potentially end up winning, but I'm going with the War Raiders.
Yeah, same here. What about you, Chris?
A little bias.
Yeah, we're gonna go the Douglas brothers. One half of the Douglas brothers. We'll go with Todd.
Yes.
People forget about that. That, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that Todd's first match when he wrestled the Douglas brothers in Rayham and Escapades?
Club Escapades, Chris Blackheart, and the Punisher versus the Douglas brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. It's been a long time, Chris Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
What do we know?
No, we don't know much. But with that being said, not knowing much, it's Wrestlemania season. You know what that means? Oh, my email is flooded right now. All these emails right now regarding people looking to train. I guarantee you by the end of the weekend, it'll be 10 new inquiries, and everyone's going to tell me their story, but you do know what they have to do?
Yep, show up and do work.
You got to show up and just do it. So everybody is going to send me an email or hit us up on social media at SP Wrestling. Just show up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 6:30 to 9:30.
Yep.
And if you want
the hardest
sign
part,
up,
showing up.
ShowcaseProWrestling.com.
We had a interesting conversation last night at the training center with some of the students.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, it was.
And a lot of times the confidence to show up and just walk through the door and start putting in the work, it lacks on a lot of people. So don't waste your time asking foolish questions, and just come to the door if that's what you want to do.
Yep. The thing I think people don't do is they don't do the hard work. And we keep saying that success will come, but it just depends on the work you put in. Yeah, there's no timeline. I think that's the hard part with it. I think it's like kind of like a mind fuck in wrestling. Because there's no timeline. Danny's timeline could be different than your timeline, than my timeline. You just don't know.
Yeah, there's no guarantees. The guarantee that we give our students is an education on pro wrestling, and we'll guarantee your first match. And where you take it next is up to the work that you put in and how you do it and how you apply yourself to what we're teaching you. So, with that being said, you do that, and there's no guarantees. The wrestling business is no guarantees. The main thing is you got to enjoy what you're doing, and you got to do it with passion and be consistent.
If we already had several of our guys appear on Raw, SmackDown, such as Danya, he's been on both of them. You know what I mean? So you walk in that door, guys. Maybe one day you could be going to WrestleMania yourself. You know, so you never know.
Could.
So yeah, you could. You could be a WrestleMania alumni. You could join the club. Chris Blackheart.
I know, it's all true, man.
Yep.
And we said this numerous times, it's the greatest feeling, just do it. You know. With that being said, those who are watching WrestleMania, we had this question last night. Are you going to watch it for entertainment? Or are you going to watch it for study and learning?
That's a big if. We'll find those answers and more when we're back here next week in the Showcase Pod. You know, Chris Blackheart, they better let you out this weekend.
Well, so on the bad news, if I do get out, and you don't want us to ruin WrestleMania, because we'll be breaking it down in public if that's the case.
I mean, that's great. I love ruining it now for
yes. It's you know, it's part of the business. I remember we watched SummerSlam with some young kids. We destroyed their hopes and dreams because we're pulling apart the matches.
They were giving dirty looks at one point. So.
Yes, we had to give out tissue boxes because people were crying.
So, you know, that's great. I love it.
But yeah.
So with that being said, are we approaching go home time here?
We are. Is go home.
So with that being said, you know, don't forget to follow us on all our social media at SP Wrestling. Subscribe down here below somewhere. It's going to be up when this is posted. Hit the subscribe notification button so that you could get notarized when we drop content, whether it's live or matches or all the content that we put on the channel. The subscription is free. You don't have to pay anything. It helps us greatly to grow the channel and continue on bringing this content right here with the Showcase Pod. So with that being said, you know, happy WrestleMania weekend. Happy Easter weekend. You know, God bless. We'll see you right back here next week in the Showcase Pod for Don Vega, Chris Blackheart, and Dan Badandi. We'll catch you down the road.